Throwback Thursday, or as I should probably call it, let's look at all my old consoles Thursday. Today's system is probably it's one of the best things that I own. And it's not an especially rare thing, and it's not an especially exciting thing once you get past the initial veneer. But I will say that it is my absolute favourite console of all time. You ready? This, my friends, is my fabulous pink PlayStation 2. Bought it for 40 quid? My head's flitting between 25 and 40 quid. One of the two I paid for this and the controller. Must have been 40 quid because, it wasn't that long ago that I got it. It was certainly before CEX decided that PS2s were worth three figures. No, they're not. The PS2 is the biggest selling console ever, or one of. So I don't know where this logic is of charging hundreds of pounds for a PS2. Or even anything above like 30 quid. But nevertheless, I paid £40 for this one, and it's because, first of all, it's pink, and it's not a colour that you come across very often. I mean, when was the last time you saw a pink PS2? Slim, specifically. Second, it came with a controller, and I just thought, you know what, that'll be worth it. The controller unfortunately broke on me, but maybe I can fix that at some point. And yeah, so this is the PS2 Slim. If you've ever come across the PS2, you're probably aware of the Slim model that they released later on. This still amazes me as a feat of engineering because, well, if you look at the size of the original PS2, I've got one right in front of me here, it's, well, it's a good double the size at the very least, certainly a good 3.5 times the height of this, and yet they managed to cram the entire system into here. And that's not only impressive from a technical standpoint, but it's even more impressive when you consider that there's a whole PS1 in here as well. Yeah, that's how they did backwards compatibility back in the day. They just stuck a whole system in there. I'm pretty sure that's how it works anyway, don't quote me on that. But I'm fairly certain that the PS2 contains all the hardware required to natively play PS1 games. There's no emulation, just because, it's not powerful enough for that. Now that I've got this, I'm not really sure what else to say about it. This is one of 4 PS2s in my collection now. Traded one for a Switch. Amazingly, the disk drive still works in this. So let's just talk a little bit about the Slim, because it's a fascinating console, not just because it's so small. Built-in infrared receiver, I will just point that out. That's a really nice feature to have. It made the world's biggest selling DVD player an even more attractive purchase, because not only is it tiny and quiet, also works straight out of the box with the PS2 remote, one of which I have and I left over there. Very smart of me. What else? Also connects directly to Ethernet. With the fat PS2, you had to get an adapter that you stuck into the back of the console. This one, you can just plug it straight in, which is really helpful if you want to mod the thing, and then you can connect it to your network. What else? Hey, here's a thing about the PS2 that you might not be aware of. See the logo? What if you wanted to have it vertically? What do you do then? You simply flip the logo over. Genius, isn't it? PS3 does that as well. Certain models of it, I'm fairly sure there are later models where the logo's just printed on, but yeah, all PS2s have a rotatable PlayStation logo, which is genius. It's got a top-loading disk drive as opposed to a front-loading disk drive that the fat PS2 has. And this thing is notoriously bad. So to say that it's the world's greatest DVD player, and it genuinely is because it just plays anything. Actually, there's a point on that. I'll come back to that one. These disk drives failed like nobody's business. Like I said, this is system number 4 in my collection. I also have... I'm trying to remember what the situation was. I have my original black one that I got got it second hand off eBay, and it worked for a while, but then one day it just like completely stopped reading all my discs properly. It'd read them for a bit, but then wouldn't, and that's apparently a known issue with the PS2 Slim. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. So I've been careful not to use this one as much, and I've actually run across issues with this one as well. So yeah, the disk drives in PS2 Slims, bad news. Yeah, I mean, really, I like consoles that are a bit quirky, and you know that I'm a fan of the Japanese consoles, and I've shown the top loader, the AV Famicom, which is a quirky device, and my translucent N64, which I've got. I like this sort of system that's not just, a black box, or indeed a grey box, as it were. And, I'm particularly fond of pink. I do like a good pink. So, yeah, this is a console that has been sought after by me. I actually had a pink controller, a third-party one, when I had my original PS2, and that broke. But it's really, really nice to have the actual whole pink console. Frustrating part is the box design for it. I don't have the box, unfortunately. Well, probably not unfortunately, because it's hideous. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's like a bad knockoff perfume you might see on AliExpress. Anyway, the main thing is I just wanted to show it off. So there it is, pink PS2. I like it a lot, and it's my favourite console. Up until I get the ocean blue variant of the Japanese PS2, that is. That's on my wish list, so when that comes, I'm sure you'll all know about it. Anyway, that's all. That's all on this rambling PS2 trek. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. That doesn't work quite as well as I'd hoped. Oh, the point that I said I'd come back to. You try and play a DVD through SCART, and your DVD just shows up green, so you have to have a hack on your memory card to get it to work. Bit poor, that.